Okay, so step 4. Okay, so in step 3, you worked on enriching and supporting your subjective side. And this is a side that you don't usually acknowledge or pay as much attention to or practice using as much. So you've been encouraging this, and now it's essentially safer to cross over into the realm of your objective side. And when I say safer, even though this is our normal mode of functioning and our most kind of familiar thought process and approach to life, it can be very critical, it can be very negative, and it can be very cold and cut and dry and devoid of human meaning. Because when you go to the far end spectrum of it, it gets very mathematical. Personally, I think math is beautiful, but you come to where you cut down to so many pieces that you no longer see the picture. And if you're identifying negatively with these little pieces, this, what's left, then you can end up having a pretty cruel response to yourself. You also will have a limited ability to look into your past and to clearly see perhaps where some of these came from, because you consider them objective reality. The idea of questioning these truths that you hold on to, so your perceptions about the world, can be very threatening, and the things that may have happened in the past, or acknowledge them, also might be very threatening. And we sometimes spend a great deal of time and energy and resources to cover these things up in our mind and to pretend essentially that they didn't happen, because it's not adaptive to think about negative things and suffering or threatening things in our environment all the time. So it is actually adaptive to kind of smooth them over. But if we didn't properly process them and learn from them and understand the situation for what it was, then we hold on to kind of the bitter pill of it. And so in step 4, you want to look at the way that you react in your environment in a objectivist survival sense. So you look at the things that you do that you need to do, like, say, getting to work on time. And then you look at the type of response you have. And what you end up doing is kind of making a little chart in your mind of environments, triggers, stimuli, things that bring about certain behaviors of yours that are not adaptive, so to speak. So they do something that isn't really what you want to be doing, or the result that you want. And so you're going to be looking at these correlating factors, writing them down, and with the information that you got when you were observing yourself, and now with increased ability to subjectively value things, that's, you create meaning and worth with them, you can pair that and contrast that against these very strongly held beliefs about the world, about things needing to be a certain way or you needing to be a certain way, and these beliefs or perceptions being threatened or posing as a threat in certain situations. So you observe again, and you write down this information, and you use your subjective valuing new abilities to see the other side of something. So I'm reacting this way. Is there another side to the coin? And additionally, is that a way that I reacted from something that I learned a long time ago and was appropriate long time ago to do and was successful at a younger age or in a different environment? Or is it something I just recently picked up? many times we have misperceptions about the world because we had that half-logic equation when we were children, and so we weren't able to do the check and balance to essentially quality control our perceptions. And so we'll have things that sometimes seem very juvenile, but we hold on to them very, very tightly. And so when we look at these, you want to be very delicate because they hold up a lot of other different beliefs and understandings and sense of value in the world and how things work. So try to look at what other people do in these situations. You know, either depending on whether you engage in this kind of process extrovertedly or introvertedly, you pick your comfortable mode of inquiry and see what other options are out there, and compare this against your own. And it won't be like the right answer that you're looking for, but just see what other social behaviors are similar or occur in similar situations.